Good afternoon. You're watching Yoga in Your Living Room. I'm Brentan, and this is a practice for a lazy afternoon. So in your own time, let's saunter our way up to the very top of the yoga mat. And this first little part of practice is probably better left a little bit more open-ended and unguided, because we each experience that physical lethargy in a different way. So this is really a time to start some opening movements, and by moving with a little bit more intention, with our attention expanding into our entire body instead of, in areas where we're experiencing all of our aches and pains or other things like that, the breath will start to deepen naturally. If you find that you have areas of tenderness or injury or something like that, you can go into a bit of self-massage. And if it feels okay for you, and if you don't mind looking a little bit silly, we can actually kind of recharge the face a little bit, and the mind that controls the face. So we can do this by taking a nice full breath in through the nose. And on the exhale breath, it's lion's breath. So you'll stick your tongue out and open your face really wide. Breathe in. And lion's breath out. And in. Lion's breath out. Ooh, that was a more relaxed one. That felt nice. Inhale, let's reach the arms out from the torso. It can be up to the sky or out. It doesn't really matter. Let's actually maybe even soften them to goalpost arms, so cactus arms. When the arms are lifting like this, we want to see that it's the muscles kind of underneath the armpit and the side waist that are holding and boosting these bones into position, rather than the shoulder shrugging muscles lifting everything up. So take your shoulder shrugging muscles down, peel the elbows back without kind of pushing your chest super forward. You want your spine to be neutral, not in back bend. Now free up the neck here, soften the ears to one side, maybe the chin goes through center and to the other side. You can let your hands be really floppy, lazy, but it's probably good for the arms to be lifted in this capacity, especially if you've been working on a computer all day. You can even roll out through the wrists here if that feels appropriate. Can stretch even through the wrists by doing I don't know what this is called, like a goddess arms or something like that, but flexing the hands, really now stretching through the wrist, through the forearm muscles. And when it feels sufficiently kind of warm and maybe even potentially hot-headed, relax the hands down to the ground. A nice sweeping big inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale through the mouth as you soften over the legs, deep bend. Let your head just tumble out of your spine. Rock your weight forward and backward in your feet. So everything here is soft, fluid. And then take your hands down, step the feet back one at a time, knees down to the floor, in fact, for tabletop position. Hovering for a moment in tabletop position, and I know we're lazy in the afternoon, but we do want to feel the front body compact itself into the back body, the neck and throat in line with the spine, skull forward. Root down through your hands. See, can you rotate your arms so that if the elbows were to bend, and you can actually do that, they bend back towards your body, not out to the side. Let's take some movement here. And so we can learn more from the movement as we take the hips maybe around in some circles, or just forward, backward. Even cat-cow is fine. So again, letting this practice be a little bit more unstructured. And then from here, keeping the hips high over the knees, we'll walk ourselves forward to a puppy dog position. So we'll start to stretch open the chest, the upper back. So walk your hands well forward, bow your heart down. If your forehead doesn't naturally reach down to the floor, it can hover in the air, although it'll probably feel nicer if it can rest on something. So you might find a yoga block. You might find a short stack of books or a Tupperware container. You can leave your head and body where it is, but one at a time, slide your hands back, push on up, and then from here, big toes together, sit back onto the heels. If this is too much on your knees, you can always, you can pad up underneath your knees. You can pad up also in between your thighs and your shin bones. So really, we're not trying to work through any discomfort in our joints, any discomfort arising from an injury or something like that. We're trying to work with the body how it naturally is right now. Take the sitting bones back, walk forward to child's pose. And so if the arms don't feel so good overhead, you can always rest them down by your sides. See if you can push into your hands a little bit if they're in front of you and circularize your tailbone down to your heels. At the same time, roll the weight of the forehead more towards the hairline so that now the back body is more bowed like a little rainbow. If you want, pick your forehead, your chest up, walk yourself on over to one side so that your torso drapes over one of your knees for a side bend. So you start to open through the side waist, through the spine. Keeping the weight back into the sitting bones, you can pick the forehead hard up and walk over to the other side. Coming back through center now. Coming back forward onto hands and knees. And now that the spine has sufficiently moved in all directions, except for one, we'll do the one. So twisting. Let's keep the left hand here. Let's inhale, open the right fingers wide to the sky, breathe in. And on the exhale, we're gonna thread the needle. So we can bring either that right forearm down, if that's as far as you wanna go, or go all the way down to the right shoulder. Right ear rests on the mat. Keep your left hand mostly where it is. Wrap the elbow up to the sky. Press into your right arm. Roll the weight on your skull more towards the back of the skull as if you were trying to look up at the sky. But don't look up at the sky if your left shoulder is still coming forward. Open your left shoulder simultaneously and let that start to open the left ribs here. As if the whole torso wanted to spin and so that the back of the body was laying flat on the floor. Move your left hand back into a comfortable position. Press down, come out of the pose on an inhale. Exhale, return the right hand down to the ground. Take the other side. So inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread the needle. Come either down to the forearm or thread all the way to the back of the shoulder. Press into that left arm. Widen the right elbow to the sky. Root down, come on up. Stretch the left fingers up. Come on out. Take a seat. Swivel the legs round front so that we're sitting on the pelvis. Scooch on forward. And we'll take the rest of our series from the floor. So slide on down. Welcome to the floor. Okay, step the feet in close to the pelvis, hover the hips, and kind of bounce them a little bit. Feel that they're level between both sides of your body. Feel that your legs are coming out evenly, they're working evenly. Side waist is even, so that your knees are in line with your hips, your shoulders, and your skull, kind of right in between there. As you lower yourself back down, you should feel like the pelvis is weighted here, like the frontal hip bones had little sandbags on them, weighting them down, and that the low back still has its natural curvature, just a little bit away from the ground. It might not be visible, but if you were to, like blow some air with a blow dryer or something, it would go through. Okay, let's take the right knee into the chest. Hug onto it. If you can't grab for it, see if you got like a towel you can wrap around or like a belt from your closet, something like that. Now flex your right foot like it was still standing. In fact, use your right leg like it's still standing. Your arms just moved in front of your body, which sometimes like you'll start to roll your shoulders up. So see if you could still relax the torso, relax the shoulders. Now we want to keep the pelvis centered between the two legs here. If you want, you can start to stretch that left leg straight. That provides more of a challenge because now the legs are doing like two totally different things. So you use the effort of the feet. And this can become a hip stretch up for that left side the longer that leg gets. So the more that you're able to push out over time. It doesn't happen maybe the first moment that you're in the pose, but as you start to relax and breathe a little bit deeper, maybe you start to find some new access. Slide the left foot in, relax the right foot, roll it out a few times, and then relax it down to the floor. Switch your sides, grab onto the left knee, flex through the foot, and use the foot like it was standing. Push into something imaginary here. See how this fires up your leg. I always feel like the inner lining of the leg and the outer lining of the leg, are they both doing equal effort to pull the thigh bone into the pelvis, to be intentional with that relationship in that joint? Because what we really want to do in yoga is we want to stabilize our joints. We want to really strengthen the musculature around the joints so that we can stretch open in other areas. Right leg straight, again, that's the option. Okay, relax, pull everything in, roll around a little bit here. So now both knees are into the chest. We're holding onto everything, rolling out through the spine. Again, nice intuitive movement here. Maybe even butterflying the knees a little bit. If you want, you can grab up for the soles of the feet for happy baby. This can be a really nice way to let the feet drain. Really important to have every piece of the body go upside down at some point in the day because that helps our drainage system, our lymphatic system, which doesn't have a pump the way that our heart pumps our nutrients. So our drainage system relies on gravity and muscle contractions. As you feel ready, we'll soften the feet down to the floor. You can take Shavasana, our final resting position, with feet flat, knees dropping in on each other. Or if it feels okay on your pelvis and your low back, to take the legs on straight, equidistant from the midline, same as your arms, palms up, more weight to the thumb side. Arm bones even physically rolled underneath the body, shoulder blades kind of squeezing together. Take a big full breath in through the nose. Close your eyes and breathe out through the mouth. This is your afternoon rest. It would be good if, hopefully your autoplay isn't on YouTube. Sometimes I want to do a long Shavasana. My autoplay is on. And then like some crazy video comes on next. So hopefully your autoplay is off. And if you can get another 5 minutes here maybe, just to let the nervous system unwind from whatever type of day it's been. Thank you so much for joining.